It is officially 6 o'clock. I've got the recording running. I've got the live stream running. Chair, whenever you are ready, and hopefully John will join us in.
Okay, he's probably standing in line to get his ID checked. I would like to call the July 9, 2020 Development Commission meeting to order. And as usual, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we need a voice vote, a motion and a voice vote to table case number 8. And that case is Z20-023. The address is 2214 Hilliard Rome Road. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, first case we're going to hear tonight, case number 2, Z20-025, 3225 Sullivant Avenue.
Okay, bear with me a minute while I get the PowerPoint screen up here. Whoops, wrong PowerPoint. Okay. The 0.2 acre site consists of one parcel developed with an office building in the AR1 apartment residential district. The requested CPD commercial plan development district will secure proper zoning for this non-conforming use. North of the site across Sullivant Avenue is a church in the R4 residential district. To the east is a medical office building in the AR1 apartment residential district. To the south are single unit dwellings in the SR suburban residential district. And to the west is an apartment building in the AR1 apartment residential district and ARO apartment office district. The site is within the planning boundaries of the Hilltop Land Use Plan, which recommends medium to high density residential uses at this location and includes adoption of Columbus statewide policies. The C2P2 guidelines recommend that development should connect to public sidewalks and encourage use of community commercial overlay standards where applicable, including landscaping, the installation of a tree lawn, and the addition of street trees. The site is located within the boundaries of the Greater Hilltop Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. The recommendation form is in the supplemental packet. And also within the supplemental packet is a revised text and a revised CPD plan, which reflects the landscaping that the Greater Hilltop Area Commission had conditioned their approval on. And they are meeting that, and this the revised CPD plan is here on the screen. The requested CPD commercial plan development district will secure proper zoning for an existing office building. The CPD text permits C2 commercial district uses and includes a commitment to a site plan which proposes the addition of a sidewalk, tree lawn, and street trees as recommended by C2P2 design guidelines. Deviation from the Hilltop Land Use Plan's recommendation for medium to high density residential uses is supported given the existing non-conforming use, the proposed sidewalk and landscaping improvements, and the site's adjacent location to another office building. The request does not introduce an incompatible use to this neighborhood. Therefore, staff's recommendation is for approval, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Questions, anyone? Okay, traffic issues, Dan?
No issues.
And I would guess there are no recreation and parks issues.
That is correct.
Okay, is the applicant here?
Yes, it's Jeff Brown for the applicant.
Jeff, you have anything you want to add to the staff report?
Just my client looked at the building, thought it was an office, looked at the auditor's map. They said it was an office. When we went to talk to the city about getting permits, they said it was residential. So we're rezoning to conform what's there.
Okay. Is that a Virginia orange
Yes.
Okay.
Since I was criticized for not wearing my colors, I have them on today.
All right, well, it's not a tie, but you're in uniform. Okay, it's time to call the roll.
I think, Mr. Fitzpatrick, there's a revised text and site plan that you need to
Yeah.
accept first.
7-9 text. Okay, a motion to approve the text, the revised text dated 7/9/20,
And site plan, please.
and the site plan that goes with it. Same date.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, please call the roll.
Okay, Marty Anderson,
Yes.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
Ken Wookwe,
Yes.
and Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you're approved.
Thank you very much.
And we will go to case number 3Z20-018. The address is 3101 Agler Road.
Before we begin, there is a revised staff report, which includes the elevations that the applicant is committing to. There's also a site plan with a slight change showing street trees along Bryce Road. The site consists of 7 undeveloped parcels in the R rural district. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. This supplemental packet, let me start over. The supplemental packet has a revised limitation text and site plan. The site consists of 7 undeveloped parcels in the R rural, R1 residential, C3 commercial, and LC5 limited commercial and T1 private parking districts. The applicant is requesting the LM limited manufacturing district to permit less objectionable manufacturing uses. North of the site is a self-storage facility and automotive garage in the CS Community Service District and undeveloped land in the R Rural District, all in Mifflin Township. South of the site is a single unit dwelling in the R1 Residential District and undeveloped land in the AR12 and ARLD Apartment Residential Districts. East of the site is a religious facility in the LC4 Limited Commercial District, and west of the site is a single unit dwelling and undeveloped land in the R Rural District. The site is within the planning boundaries of the Northeast Area Plan, which recommends mixed-use neighborhood center land uses and the Agler Cassidy Mixed-Use Center. Although the proposed warehouse and district uses are inconsistent with the recommendation, Planning Division staff views the proposed use as being potentially supportable with revisions to the site design that improves how the corner is addressed. Staff has requested the applicant work with the Northeast Area Commission in advance of staff making a determination, as the area plan was developed jointly with that commission. The site is located within the boundaries of the Northeast Area Commission, whose recommendation has not been received at the time of this report was written, and it has still not been received as of today. The limitation text establishes use restrictions and supplemental development standards that address building and parking setbacks, traffic access, and open space. Additionally, the limitation text contains commitments to develop the site in accordance with the submitted site plan and building elevations. The proposed LM Limited Manufacturing District will permit a warehouse, distribution, and office development. The limitation text establishes use restrictions and supplemental development standards that address building and parking setbacks, traffic access, and open space. Additionally, the limitation text contains commitments to develop the site in accordance with the submitted site plan and building elevations. Although the proposed uses are inconsistent with Northeast Area Plan, planning staff views the proposed uses as being potentially supportable with revisions to the site and how the corner is addressed. Input from the Northeast Area Commission has been requested by the Planning Division staff before they can provide their full recommendation. Since the Northeast Area Commission has not been meeting during the COVID-19 pandemic, staff is unable to recommend approval until further information is provided by the Commission and the applicant. The City Department's recommendation will be updated to approval if the applicant revises the site design to the satisfaction of our Planning Division. And therefore, at this time, City Department's recommendation is for disapproval.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, traffic issues seem to be needed anything, Dan, you can comment on?
Yes, I guess there's a couple background items to identify here. So the applicant did prepare a traffic access study, and that was reviewed and approved by the city and the Franklin County Engineer's Office. And the text updates have addressed most of the issues that were identified previously. So, but there were, and I guess looking through the exhibits here, it looks like there is actually, could be 3 minor things that might need to be taken care of. One would be related to the location of the access on Agler Rd. I believe the landscaping exhibit and then the another exhibit showed a different access point. So I guess that would probably need to be finalized before and make sure the
That would be the
county is
meeting
okay
number
with that.
160-094-2611. No,
And
it didn't
then,
ask me for it.
Oh,
and then there were a couple the one text item was related to the requested future cross-access easement accommodation for the access on Cassidy Avenue.
Okay, I'll see you.
There's some minor language adjustment we're requesting there, and there's just an item related to an area of easement for future sidewalk utility areas that were requested by the Franklin County Engineer's Office. We would need that final issue taken care of on this application.
All right, Dan, if you had those 3 documents right now, would you be in favor of what we're looking at right now on the site plan?
Yes, if those issues are addressed, our department would have no further issues.
All right. Anybody else on the commission have any questions? Dan? All right, Kathy, any comment from Recreation and Parks? I'll take that as no. Is the applicant here for this case?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mike Shannon here on behalf of the applicant.
All right, Mike, you heard these 3 comments from the traffic department regarding the Agler Road access coordination, the cross easement access on Cassidy, and the easement for utilities and sidewalks.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We are in agreement with all 3 of those provisions. Some of them didn't make it into the final limitation text. I could very briefly, Mr. Chairman, just summarize, give you a Reader's Digest version of everything we're doing here, if I could.
Please do that. That's great.
Thank you. It's an approximately 18-acre site that is zoned predominantly R, with the corner being zoned C5 and some C3. Historically, I've tried to comply with the area plan that calls for retail for this entire 18 acres. Shannon will remember probably 10 to 12 years ago, we came in with a big box user and out parcels trying to get a grocery store. And that giant eagle ended up in McCutcheon Road, and it went downhill from there trying to get retail tenants. Subsequently, several realtors, including Gene Johnson and Jay Smith, retained me to try to get some medical offices, some emergency rooms, some hospitals, but it sat fallow for the better part of the last 20 years. With the previous application, we demolished the infamous Josh's Carryout, which was a public nuisance on this site, in cooperation with the Northeast Area Commission. Before you today is a 240,000 square foot, $15 million project that will create 100 jobs for the area. Most importantly, we've dedicated 4.3 acres to be open space. It has a very beautiful ravine, and we've had some preliminary discussions with Parks and Recs to make it a passive park. We've addressed the traffic issues in terms of providing right-of-way, the access study, which we will comply with. The landscape exhibit was erroneous. We are in an opportunity zone. We think this is the highest and best use for the property. The bottom line with the Northeast Area Commission is similar to last month's hearing. They've been unable to conduct a meeting, in this case, since March 6th. I did have a conversation with Mrs. Porter on 2 occasions within the last 5 days to assure her that we are not going to council until we go in front of them. And per your normal requirement, Mr. Chair, if we do not get their approval, we will either come back to the commission or take a no vote.
Okay, that's perfect. Does anybody on the commission have any questions of Mike Shannon? Okay, I'd like a motion to include in this application the revised text and site plan dated 7/9/20, and also recitation of the 3 conditions that were itemized by Dan of the traffic department.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay.
Chair,
please.
before
Yes.
you go on, we might have a speaker.
Oh, okay.
Was it Amy Huffman? Did you want to speak on this application?
No.
Okay.
I apologize for interjecting here. I'm a member of the community. I don't know if this is my place or if I'm beyond that, but I'd like to ask some questions.
Are you in favor? Are you opposed? Or you just want information?
Want information to decide whether or not I'm in favor or opposed. So I live at 2360 Sunbury Road, which is not directly attached, but a few houses away from this proposed site. I am a little concerned with it, obviously, because it's directly next to my property.
I need to know his name, please.
My name is David Finney.
Okay, let's hear your concerns and we'll ask the applicant to
spell his
respond.
name.
The last
Can you
name
spell
is
your name?
last name is spelled Phinney.
Thank you.
All right, please give us your concerns real quick and we'll get Mike Shannon back in front of the mic.
So it sounds like some of it has been addressed, and I'd like to get some of that information. I apologize for not being able to get it prior to this, but the traffic concern is huge for me. These roads, even Sunbury, Agler, and Cassidy, are all single lane each way roads. Depending on what type of vehicles will be involved in this storage warehousing system, semi-trucks, 48-foot long boxes and such. That is kind of a concern for all of the corners of Cassidy and Agler and Sunbury and Agler. Also, assuming that there's going to be a significant amount of traffic increase because of this, I was wondering what the support structure looks like for that. And outside of that, I'm aware that this does not fit within the Northeast Area Commission's kind of guidelines for buildings and structures in these zones. The properties have been for sale for a long time. They've been out of use for a long time. And I just want to make sure that we're not short selling the future goals of this area because of a lack of an ability to execute against them. So I would very much like the Northeast Areas Commission. I understand they're not meeting right now, but to bypass that process and to not understand that what's going in, which is a massive addition, and I'm very delighted to see the park that's being involved in it. I'm all for jobs in the community, but these are dangerous roads here. I mean, I've actually just purchased my house a month ago, and on this road, just in front of my house on Sunbury Road, I've seen 3 accidents. And this increase in traffic to me is a huge concern. So I would like to see that what was evaluated and how it was addressed.
All right, well, I think there's a place to do that when the Northeast Area Commission does meet. There has been a traffic study executed, and we have heard from Dan Bletchman with the traffic department, and we have recorded his concerns. I I think you will, hopefully you can get together with the applicant and take a look at that traffic study and see if you still have concerns. And then if the area commission gets together and meets, as is the applicant's desire, we will know where you stand. If the area commission votes no, then everything comes back before us again. If the area commission votes yes, then this will go before city council, but it won't go to city council until after the area commission has a chance to digest this and take action.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I would love to get together and somehow take a look at that traffic report. That would be something that would be very useful to me.
All right. I would love to say talk to Mike Shannon in the back of the room, but there is no room. So
I will try to reach out to Mr. Finney and provide him the information he requested.
Okay, great. In order to move the agenda along, I think we've got all the information we need.
Is there a possibility for another neighbor to speak? Shannon?
Yes?
Yes. Another neighbor just to agree with what Mr. Finney said, that there is concern in the neighborhood. I'm Tom Phillips. I'm the owner of the property directly south of this parcel. And I too am just looking for answers, trying to figure out if we're going to be able to be compatible with this. If the uses that own that property now for 25 years and lived in the neighborhood for 50 years, the uses that we have spent our youth trying to come up with for a neighborhood and community are going to be recognized, or as Mr. very well stated, are they going to be left alone? Because our neighborhood does matter. And I think that we're not abiding this.
You're breaking up a lot, Mr. Phillips. We can't really hear what you're saying too well.
Okay.
I would like to interject to Mr. Phillips that I would repeat the same comments I made to the speaker. You will have time to meet the area commission to go over these issues, and Mike Shannon can also contact you to let you see that traffic report. This, we are going to vote on whether or not we believe this use is an appropriate use. It's all subject to being approved by the Northeast Area Commission.
Yes.
If it's approved, then it goes to City Council. If it is not approved, then it has to come back here for a hearing. So nothing is going to happen without you having a chance to get fully informed and to state your concerns to the Area Commission.
Could we ask how changes will be made? Will it have to come back to you if changes are made in order to accommodate the community's concerns?
Only if you vote no. If the applicant agrees to make changes and the Area Commission finds that acceptable, that will be on the record. Any changes that are made, just like we stated and got a motion approved for the 7/9/20 site plan and the text. So you'll have the same procedure there. And if a yes vote comes through, then this will go to City Council. City Council will also listen to speakers as well. But we're here to vote on whether, as a commission, from our experience, we find this appropriate or not appropriate. It's unfortunate that COVID-19 struck us, or we would already know. But rather than wait an unknown amount of time and hold everything up, we will step up and state our feelings, all subject to what happens with Northeast Area. So you understand that if Northeast Area Commission votes no, this has to come back.
Yes, thanks very much, Jim.
Okay. All right. We read the motion into the action, and we are now ready to call the roll. Any other speakers before I before I do that. Okay.
What was the application number?
It's V20-018.
Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but either to Chair Fitzpatrick or Shannon, can we really vote on this firmly and finally without the area commission and assume that a no vote, should the area commission so vote, would automatically send this case back to the commission?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Marty Anderson, that is the same provision that was done last month for the school, Bradford School on Shelter Road, and subsequently we were able to get Mrs. Porter's group's approval. Similarly here, we will have to wait till we have the meeting with Mrs. Porter. If we get a no recommendation from her, we automatically get a no recommendation from the Development Commission. We could opt to go to council with no recommendations from everybody, or the more prudent thing probably be to come back to the Development Commission and work on compromise. But this template has been done before. The code does not technically require area commission approval, but I made a commitment to Mrs. Porter that I would not go forward without having a zoning committee meeting and a full committee meeting. And Mr. Phillips is a former client of mine. I represented him on this venture on his property next door many years ago. I can reach out to him as well. And I gave my word to Mrs. Porter I would not go forward without meeting with them. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
And Marty, we have done this before when there was a conflict in schedules where simultaneously there was an area commission meeting while we were meeting. This is.
I know, and I had the same question then. So thank you.
This is a contingent approval or contingent disapproval.
Okay, thank you.
Is it appropriate or is it not appropriate if all these traffic issues are resolved? Okay, please call the roll.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
Kay Onwukwe,
Yes.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
and Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you're approved. Contingent happens with the Northeast Area Commission. Everybody understands the game.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Now let's go to case number 4, Z20-031, 8001 Ravines Edge Court.
Okay. The 1.84 acre site consists of one parcel developed with a medical office building zoned in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District. The requested CPD Commercial Plan Development District would allow an inpatient medical treatment facility, a C4 commercial district use, in conjunction with the medical office and outpatient treatment uses within the existing building. The rezoning is necessary because the current CPD Commercial Plan Development District permits only C2 commercial district uses. North of the site is a multi-unit residential development in the AR12 apartment residential district. East and south of the site are office buildings in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District. And west of the site is a camping and outdoor recreational facility in Sharon Township. The site is within the boundaries of the Far North Area Plan, which recommends office land uses at this location. The site is within the boundaries of the Far North Columbus Community Coalition, whose recommendation is for approval. The CPD text allows an inpatient treatment facility for patients with eating disorders and C2 commercial district uses. The text also includes a commitment to a site plan. The requested CPD Commercial Plan Development District will allow an inpatient medical treatment facility in conjunction with the existing medical office and outpatient treatment center. The CPD text also permits C2 commercial district uses and includes a commitment to a site plan. The proposed use is generally consistent with the Far North Area Plan's recommendation of office uses at this location, and the request does not introduce an incompatible use to the surrounding area. Therefore, staff's recommendation is for approval, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Shannon? Traffic issues, Dan?
No issues.
Okay, and recreation and parks?
She's having some technical difficulties, but she let me know that there's no issues with anything tonight.
Okay, great. Since I can't see anybody raise their hand in the room, is there any speaker interested in this case? Case number 4 on Ravines Edge Court. No voices heard. Okay. Okay, the applicant is here?
Yes.
Okay, is there anything you would like to add, Jill, to the staff's?
No, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions from anyone on the commission? Okay, everything's approved.
Jill, can you just give your name for the record, please?
Sure. Jill Tankoven, Warrior Sater Seymour and Pease on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you.
Okay, with no further ado, please call the roll.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
Kay Onwukwe,
Yes.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
and Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you are approved. Okay, we will move along to case number 5, Z20-029, 1400 Bethel Road.
The 2.66 acre site consists of 2 parcels, one developed with a vacant eating and drinking establishment and one developed with a vehicle rental business, both zoned in the C4 commercial district. The requested CPD commercial plan development district would allow the site to be redeveloped with a fuel sales and convenience store with accessory on-site food and beverage service. North and east of the site is a multi-unit residential development in the ARLD apartment residential district. Also located east of the site is a bank in the C4 commercial district. South of the site across Bethel Road are several eating and drinking establishments, a fuel sales facility, and a doctor's office in the CPD commercial plan development and C4 commercial districts. West of the site across Go Down Road is a commercial development and fuel sales facility in the C4 commercial district. The site is within the boundaries of the Northwest Plan, which recommends mixed-use 1 land uses at this location, including commercial classifications and supports residential uses. The site is also located within the Bethel Road Regional Commercial Overlay. The site is located within the boundaries of the Northwest Civic Association, whose recommendation is for approval with conditions to discuss options for turning left into the speedway from northbound Go Down Road, and that traffic improvements be made to the intersection of Bethel Road and Go Down Road prior to the proposed business opening. The CPD text establishes use restrictions and supplemental development standards that address building and parking setbacks, traffic access, landscaping and screening, building materials, and commits to developing the site in accordance with the submitted site plan. Additionally, the text includes a variance to locate the dumpster at the northwest corner of the property. In your supplemental packet, you will see a revised CPD text, which includes traffic commitments requested by the Division of Traffic Management. The updated language can be found in section 3B2. The Columbus Multimodal Thoroughfare Plan identifies this portion of Bethel Road as a suburban commuter corridor with 160 feet of right-of-way. The requested CPD Commercial Plan Development District will allow the development of a fuel sales facility and convenience store with accessory eating and drinking establishment uses and minimal outdoor display sales. The CPD text establishes appropriate use restrictions and the supplemental development standards and includes commitments to develop the site in accordance with the submitted site plan. Although the Northwest Plan recommends building be parallel to and facing the street with an entrance door connected to the public sidewalk, the Planning Division recognizes that the environmental studies conducted at the site revealed evidence of contamination from a previous gas station in the southwest quadrant, presenting constraints on design to limit exposure. The Planning Division acknowledges these concerns and supports the submitted site plan which includes adequate landscaping and fencing to further mitigate the impact of the site design. The proposal is consistent with the plan's land use recommendations and is compatible with the zoning and development pattern of the surrounding area. Therefore, staff's recommendation is for approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, anyone? Okay, is there any speaker regarding this application?
I mean, as applicant, Chair?
No, any neighbors or surrounding people? Okay, I've driven by that location 8 million times and seen it go from a 55 restaurant to about 10 other different restaurants. It'd be time for something good to happen there. Dan, would you weigh in on the traffic if there is any need? It seems to me that the traffic revisions you recommended are now stated in the 7920 text. Is that true?
Yes, that is correct. The commitments requested by our department have been included in the text and reflect the recommendations of the traffic impact study.
Okay.
I have a question for Dan.
Yes.
So the northbound patrons are going to come into the north of the site, into that driveway and enter there, and the pork chop on go down is a right in, right out only.
Correct. There's a southern access. Their southern access point to Go Down Road is a right in, right out access point, and there will be a full access point north of that will be shared with the existing residential development to the north.
So that Bracken House Boulevard is the north. If you're headed north on Go Down, that's where you get into this site.
That is correct. If you need to enter from the north, you would enter at Bracken House Boulevard. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. It's already been stated there are no speakers, so we need a motion to accept the 7920 revised text and all the documents in that package of text. Motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Yes.
Go ahead with this motion, but I just wanted to see if Kathy was back online after the motion's accepted.
Okay. Let's see if Kathy's there before we call the roll. Kathy, are you with us? Doesn't sound like Kathy's back on the bench. Okay, please call the roll.
Kayan Wukwe,
Yes.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
and Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you are approved. Okay, case number 6. Z20-035, 1550 North Wilson Road.
Hang on one second. Did Frank want to say anything?
No, Shannon, I didn't need to say anything, but I thought that was a vote to just accept the.
No, the roll call. The roll call was for the actual.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I have nothing to say. Thank you very much.
Well, you did your name on the roster there, so you get paid for the night's meeting.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. And hi to you, John. See ya.
Good to see you. Okay, back to the agenda. Case number 6, Z20-035, 1550 North Wilson Road.
The site consists of one parcel developed with a commercial printing facility in the LM2 Limited Manufacturing District. The requested LM Limited Manufacturing District will permit warehouse, distribution, and office uses for a proposed medical supply business. The current LM2 district only permits the existing printing facility use. The site is surrounded by residential development. To the north is an apartment complex in the LAR 12 Limited Apartment Residential District. To the east and south is a single unit residential subdivision in the LSR Limited Suburban Residential District. And to the west across North Wilson Road are single unit dwellings in Franklin Town. The site is located within the planning area of the Trabue Rd plan, which recommends light industrial land uses at this location. The site is located within the boundaries of the West Scioto Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval and is in the supplemental packet. The limitation text establishes use restrictions and supplemental development standards related to preservation, landscaping, of street trees, and the stream corridor protection zone present on the site. Also in this supplemental packet, if everybody could mute themselves so we don't get the feedback, I'd appreciate it. The limitation text, there's a supplemental limitation text in the packet. It was just to add one word to the permitted uses to also permit processing. Concurrent 20-03 proposes a variance to conform the existing parking lot setback. The requested LM2 limited manufacturing district will allow an existing printing facility to be repurposed for a medical supply warehouse and distribution facility. The request is consistent with the light industrial use recommendation of the Roberts area plan and the preservation of landscaping and addition of street trees maintain the compatibility of this development with the surrounding residential uses. Therefore, staff's recommendation is for approval, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Questions or comments? Okay, Dan, traffic issues.
No issues.
Kathy, you're back with us.
Kind of.
Kind of. Thumbs up or thumbs down, I can see you. Okay, is anyone here to speak regarding this application on Wilson Road? Any neighbors or anyone else?
Hi, my name is Lauren Barber. I live directly behind the facility.
Yes.
It's B-A-R-B-E-R, like the guy who cuts your hair. So I live at 1531 Van Elm Street. And we just got notice about this last week, and there wasn't any additional information provided to us about like if there's going to be additional like shifts, because currently the printing business is only open like Monday through Friday. And we wanted to know if there was going to be additional shifts that could be disruptive or create noise on like second or third on overnight. We had additional questions about how far they were planning to cut back into the tree line that separates our property and that property. Because there was indication that the trees were going to be preserved, but there wasn't additional information about how far they were going to cut into the property line. And that tree and shrub buffer actually creates a sound barrier between our houses. There's 6 of us who abut that property. It creates a sound barrier between us, that property, and Wilson Road, which is pretty busy. And then additionally, we wanted to know if there were any proposals for additional lighting on the parking lots, because the proposal that was submitted talked about using the parking lot that is to the south of the building, and it does not currently have any lighting.
Okay, very good questions. We will get answers to that. Does anyone else have an interest in this case? Okay, is the applicant available?
Yes, Jim Maniaci from TAP Law Firm.
Okay, you heard the Mrs. Barber's comments about work shifts, the destiny of the trees along the edge of the property, and lighting where?
Very good. Well, let me address them. And hopefully I won't break up. It's we've had good luck today, but not everybody's been able to be intelligible. In terms of work shifts, there's one work shift. There are going to be 12 employees at this building. It's a 27,000 square foot building. So there's not going to be a lot of people working there. We believe that it's going to be a less intensive use than what the print shop has done over the years. Okay. In terms of the trees and the natural buffering, Shannon has the site plan on the screen. And presently, that area that's shown where Ms. Barber's property is, at the rear, there's a drawing of where that greenery is, and you also see that some of it extends on both other borders of the property. Our limitation text compels the owner to preserve that. There is no obligation for this present owner to do that. We are undertaking that to preserve that in its natural state. So there's no desire to cut any of that back or to change the situation that the neighbors have been enjoying, because she's certainly correct. There is a sight and a sound buffering to that. Okay. As far as lighting goes in the parking lot, we are not asking for any variances from the modern type of lighting that would be required to be to code, and the cutoff type of fixtures that are required to be used to prevent light pollution to neighbors. To the extent that anything is added to the site, it would have to be compliant with those codes. So I think that it would not be something that would be detrimental to the neighbors. And keeping in mind that they're still going to have their buffering from all the greenery.
What's the height of those light posts in that south area?
I don't
can
know
answer,
that we.
Jim, if you want, I can answer what the code requires.
Okay. The code normally requires like 14 feet maximum.
18 within 100 feet of residentially zoned property. Otherwise, 28 feet is the max. And they do have to be fully shielded fixtures directed downward and cannot shine on adjoining properties.
Well, I think the location of the lot would call for 18-foot maximum light fixture heights. And graphically, it looks like this building is located approximately 50 feet from the east property line. The artwork is one thing, the surveyor's squiggly line where the trees are, but I would feel more comfortable if it was quantified by 50 feet or the existing building line and not just pictorial.
Okay, let me ask. I mean, if there's it's an irregular border for the greenery, are you saying that what would be maintained would be if within the 50 feet area that you're talking about, if there's presently not greenery within that area, I would expect, all right, that we wouldn't have to add to it.
No, that's correct. I'm talking about 112 years from now, somebody else owns this property and they might want to put an addition on this building, and that would encroach into the unknown, unspecified line of trees. So if you stay in line with the existing east wall of that building, I'm good. It looks to be about 50 feet from the property line itself.
I'm wondering if we should.
I think you want like a maximum setback from the east property line. Is that correct?
Yeah, a minimum setback 50.
Or a minimum, yes, yeah, a minimum
50, which looks like it's 50 to 54 now. So you could say just in line with that existing wall line, no further movement or construction to the east that would intrude onto the backyards of the adjacent homeowners. Can you make that agreement?
I believe so. I'd like to check with my client is on the line. I would say that I don't think what you're suggesting is substantial difficulty. That you know, there's other room on this site that would be easier to expand. So I'd just like to ask if Mr. Morrison or Mr. Almond could unmute and indicate whether you have any issues with that.
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
Hear you very well.
Oh, great. We don't have any intention of building any closer to that back property line, and we absolutely want to maintain the light shielding between us and the neighbors, and we definitely don't want to be shining light into people's houses. So all those things make sense to us, and I don't have a problem with adding a restriction to the backside of the property. I'm kind of concerned about making it a specific number without me being able to go out there and walk along it, because perhaps we want to build a privacy fence for the neighbors there or something. So can I assume that that wouldn't prevent us from putting some kind of a landscaping there or a privacy fence there if we later decided that?
No, it would have nothing to do with a fence or any landscaping. It's just sometimes somebody thinks there might be a piece of equipment or a walk-in cooler or something, and they punch it out that wall. And if we say that the tree line looks good now, who's to say what that tree line is in 100 years? So
sure. If
we say in line with the existing east wall of your structure now, that's all the further we need to take.
Jim?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I agree with him. I don't think that this will affect your ability to use your property.
Okay, well, the photo looks like it's 50 to 54 feet away. So let's just say no further construction to the east of the existing wall and let it go at that. You got that down, Shannon?
I do. And Jim, could you tell me who was the other speaker, please?
Sorry.
That's Charlie Morrison.
Charlie Morrison, thank you.
Okay, we need a motion to accept the 7/9/20 revised text and the stipulation that the light post will be no higher than 18 feet with cutoff lenses, and that the existing east wall buildings now is the furthest east any construction will occur for the building itself, not counting fences. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, please call the roll.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
Kay Mukwe,
Yes.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you are approved. Now we move to case number 7, and I need to sit this one out. So John, take it away.
Okay. Case number Z 19-098, 3370 Trabue Road. And staff reports, please.
In your supplemental packet that you received is an email from the Division of Traffic Management that explains revisions to the CPD text and also an updated site plan. The site consists of 3 parcels zoned in the R rural district that are being used by a landscaping company for storage and mulch production. The applicant proposes the LM Limited Manufacturing District in order to construct a self-storage facility. To the north and east of the site are railroad tracks and manufacturing uses in the M2 Manufacturing District. To the south, across Trabue Road, is a future commercial development in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District. To the west is the contractor's office in the C2 Commercial District. The site is located within the boundaries of the Trabue Rd area plan, which recommends neighborhood mixed-use land uses for this location, described as local centers of economic activity, exemplified by smaller-scale retail, off-road or institutional uses, including gas stations with convenience stores that are built to urban commercial overlay standards. The site is located within the boundaries of the West Scioto Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. The limitation text commits to a site plan and includes development standards addressing setbacks, site access, and lighting. Concurrent Council Variance CV 19-133 has been filed to vary the building and parking setback line. That request will be heard by City Council and will not be considered at this Development Commission meeting. The requested LM Limited Manufacturing District will allow a self-storage facility that is compatible with the development standards of adjacent industrial development. However, staff finds the proposed use of self-storage inconsistent with the recommendations of the Trabue Rd area plan. Staff would consider self-storage on this block if it were part of a larger redevelopment strategy that included a mix of uses and was either hidden to the rear of the site or otherwise presented along Trabue Road as a commercial storefront typology, consistent with the plan's recommendation. Should this application be recommended for approval, the Planning Division requests that there be a condition included that the applicant provide revised Trabue Road frontage elevations for review by staff, with the goal of having the proposed buildings being complementary to the mixed-use recommendations for the area. Additionally, the Division of Traffic Management is generally supportive of the traffic access configuration. However, there will need to be additional refinement to the right-in only portion of the access point. The proposed concrete island will need to be modified and the access point layout may need to be adjusted in order to more effectively deter the left-in movement. And Dan will be able to kind of talk about his email and how the revised plan and his comments address that. City Department's recommendation is for disapproval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners, any questions? Traffic?
Yes, so the revised site plan has addressed our previous comment related to the approvable access configuration there, and the updated requested text adjustments were relatively minor things, just requested to make sure everything was in line with that. So with those comments, we have no other concerns.
Parks and Recreation, Kathy, are you with us? I don't know if you're still even in the picture, but thumbs up or down, or do we just continue? Kelsey, what's your recommendation here? Do we just go on?
Kathy did give a thumbs up. She's given a thumbs up.
All right, great. Is there anyone with us that wishes to speak besides the applicant? I'm not hearing anything. Yeah, could we hear from the applicant, please?
This is Jill Tankeman with Vorey, Sater, Seymour and Pease on behalf of the applicant. And we appreciate the opportunity to present today. This is a challenging site. It's a...
Ooh. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can nip that. Okay, go ahead, Jill. Sorry.
Okay. It's a very narrow site that abuts up against railroad tracks and is between railroad tracks and an existing commercial property. As you can tell from the traffic discussions, we are limited in terms of access in and out of the property. It'll be right-in only access. So that makes development of this property pretty difficult. It obviously can't be something that has very high traffic use. It can't be something that has a lot of trips per day. And I think that's why we felt this was a good location for a self-storage facility. As I'm sure you're aware, it has a very limited traffic count, you know, kind of under 1 or 2 cars per hour. You know, most of the traffic, so to speak, is on evenings and weekends when people come to access their self-storage units. We are willing to work with Planning Commission on the building elevations. We did take a first stab with some conceptual elevations to have a building in the front that is more, looks like a 2-story building with windows and some architectural details so that it is more compatible with the area plan. And we've also proposed, you know, some landscaping on the building that would face the neighboring commercial property. The other buildings will really be up against the railroad tracks. So I'm not sure they're in need of quite as much landscaping. But in any event, we're certainly willing to work with planning on those elevations and hopefully come up with something that is a little closer to the area plan. As Kelsey mentioned, the Area Commission did support the project. I think they recognized that this was a good use in light of the access problems and the limited traffic. And I think they appreciated our attempts to try to provide an architecturally pleasing project, even though, you know, it's a weird site and it's neighboring a railroad track. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have on this.
Commissioners, any questions for Bill? I've got a couple. One is, are we doing something here that is conditional on planning's approval for the elevations, Shannon, or is this going to be straight yes or no?
Kelsey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that even if they get the elevation, I think they wanted some incorporation of some retail or office uses in conjunction with this. So there might still be a disapproval based on the area plan recommendation for use. Is that correct, Kelsey?
I think I guess it's dependent on the elevations and planning. I don't know if I feel comfortable speaking for planning. I think maybe if the elevations are kind of close enough to that overlay standards that planning is kind of looking for this area, there might be a chance that planning is in support. I just think that if Development Commission would recommend approval, it would be, I don't know, Shannon, if we can make it conditioned on planning being in support, because I'm not sure planning will be in support. I think it would be in condition on a commitment to elevations
that they support
with the ordinance. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Don?
Well, can you boil it down to whether we're voting yes or no, or that we're giving this some conditions?
If you gave it a condition on planning division being in support of their proposed elevations, I would not tie it to a full support of the project, because we don't know if they are going to outright support the proposed use.
Right.
They're not here to tell us that.
And Kelsey, would staff support this if planning supported it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just amongst the commissioners, you know, I know it's in pretty good architectural hands, but I guess the question is, like Marty, how do you feel about this one?
John, I guess, you know, things feel like they're in reverse order. I'm not sure if the zoning folks are obligated either literally or just as a professional courtesy to be sure that they and planning are in sync. I mean, I'd feel better if planning had already weighed in. Dan's email to Jill and Kelsey, do we assume all of those issues have been resolved?
Yeah, all of the traffic issues were resolved.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Is this just that planning hasn't gotten to this application, or they've actually expressed some concerns?
Planning has reviewed the application and the latest plan, and it's due to the area plan is why they're recommending disapproval. After planning was made aware that this was moving forward to the Development Commission with recommendation of disapproval, the elevations were then shared with planning to see if their thoughts changed at all on the project based on the elevations, and planning has not provided revised comment based on the elevation. But the recommendation of disapproval is based on the area plan recommendation.
I see.
But the area commission supports it.
Okay.
Yeah, we, just to go into further detail, we had met with the area commission first on the project and refined some of the building elevations, and there was some requests for landscaping and some other details as we went through the area commission. Of course, we went through the area commission in the end of February, just before the world changed pretty dramatically. So I'm not sure if planning we have not had any detailed conversations with them about the elevations. So I'm assuming that their comments are, that they'd like, an opportunity to have some back and forth on the elevations, and happy to do that.
John, I don't think there's anything statutorily preventing, our commission from voting, and there were no opposition speakers.
Great. I sort of wanted your attorney weigh in on that. Thank you.
I think it's more of a courtesy. I think it's more of a courtesy than anything. And it sounds like the applicant will pay that courtesy to planning, and that, Kelsey would pay that courtesy to planning as well. So I don't have a problem proceeding forward.
Great. Kelsey, is there anything that we need to adopt on this one was there anything in the supplemental package that needs to be incorporated into this?
There is the site plan in the supplemental packet, and then also just the revised comments from traffic that will be incorporated into the text.
Okay, do I need to add those by motion and acceptance?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
John, Dan Bletchfeld has a July 6th, 2020 email that lays out the traffic.
Right.
Great. Well, I would like to adopt the letter from traffic and the updated supplemental package to the application. And do I hear a motion?
So move.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Could we call the roll, please?
Amanda Golden,
No.
John Ingwerson.
Yes.
So I'm actually supposed to ask you last. Sorry. Kay Nwukwe,
Yes.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
temporary chair Ingwerson.
Yes. So that's a what? 3-1.
3-1's an approval.
And does that? You have to refresh my memory, Shannon. Is that sufficient to move it forward?
Yes.
Okay, so you are approved. Mike, I will turn the chair back to you.
Okay, I thank you. Okay, case number 8, Z20-023, 2214 Hilliard Rome Road.
That one's tabled.
Oh, that, we just tabled that. Wow, we're just cutting through this fast. Let me write tabled here. Okay, case number 9. Z20-038, 2700 Bryce Road.
Before I begin, I'll explain what's in your supplemental packet. There is an updated CPD text that includes commitments to building elevations. Those building elevations are also included in the text, and there is also a small update to the site plan that includes street trees along Bryce Avenue, or along Bryce Road. So the 1.57 acre site consists of 2 parcels developed with a commercial retail and eating and drinking establishment in the C4 commercial district. The applicant is requesting the CPD commercial plan development district to permit redevelopment of the site into fuel sales, convenience store, and accessory eating and drinking establishment uses. North of the site is a fueling station in the C5 commercial district. South, east, and west of the site are all retail, eating and drinking establishment, and shopping center uses in the C4 commercial and CPD commercial plan development districts. The site is within the planning boundaries of the Far East Land Use Plan, which recommends mixed-use 2 land uses at this location. The plan incorporates complete adoption of the Columbus Citywide Planning Policy Design Guidelines. The site is located within the boundaries of the Far East Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. The CPD text establishes use restrictions and supplemental development standards that address building and parking setbacks, traffic access, landscaping and screening, building materials and design, exterior treatments, lighting, and commits to developing the site in accordance with the submitted site plan and building elevation. Additionally, the text includes a variance to reduce the building setback along Bryce Road. The proposed CPD commercial plan development district permits fuel sales, convenience store, and accessory eating and drinking establishment uses. The CPD text establishes appropriate use restrictions and supplemental development standards and includes commitments to develop the site in accordance with the submitted site plan and building elevations. Staff supports the reduced building setback to accommodate a site plan in which parking and fuel service are located behind the building, which is consistent with the C2P2 design guidelines. The proposal is consistent with the Far East Land Use Plan's land use recommendation and is compatible with the zoning and development pattern at the intersection of Bryce Road and Tusting Road, and therefore city departments are recommending approval.
Okay, great. Any comments from the commission? And Dan, traffic?
Yes, traffic impact study was also prepared for this as application, and there are a couple minor things that are being worked out with the applicant, but those commitments are related in the text. So at this point, we have no further concerns.
Okay, great. Kathy, are you back online?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can't see you though. I can't see your
Excellent.
thumbs. You'll have to use your voice now.
I'm still online. There are several phases of technology that's been going on in the background. The good news is Recreation Park has no concerns.
Great. All right. Is there any speaker regarding case number 9 that wishes to talk regarding this application? I hear no voices, so is the applicant here?
Yeah, good evening, Ryan Erkenrother of Skilkin Gold Development here for the applicant, if there are any questions.
All right, you have staff approval and area commission approval, so it seems pretty straightforward. I like that you encompass the C2, P2 planning guide, and that makes everything simple. Hey, does anyone on the commission have any comments for the applicant? Okay, let's just go straight to the roll call vote.
I think we need a motion for the revised materials.
I thought it's already in. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we need a motion for two things, the text and the plans and elevations. They're both dated July 8th, 2020. Motion,
So moved.
second?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now please call the roll.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
Ken Lukwe,
Yes.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes. Okay, you are approved. Case number 10, Z20-039. The address is 6067 East Main Street.
The site is developed with 170,000 square foot retail development in the C4 commercial district. The applicant is requesting the CPD, Commercial Plan Development District, to provide an automatic car wash in addition to the existing C4 uses. The applicant proposes to split 1.18 acres in the northeast portion of the site for the proposed car wash, Sub-Area B. The remainder of the site will remain as the retail commercial development, Sub-Area A. To the north across Main Street is a commercial development in the CPD Commercial Plan Development District. To the south is a multi-unit residential development in the PUD 8 Plan Unit Development District. To the east is an eating and drinking establishment in the LC5 Limited Commercial District and single-unit dwellings in the R2F Residential District. To the west is commercial development in the C4 Commercial District. The site is within the planning boundaries of the Far East Land Use Plan, which recommends mixed-use 2 land uses at this location. The site is also subject to area-specific policies 1 and 2. Policy 1 states that mixed-use area in the community commercial overlay standards should be used along with C2P2 design guidelines. Priority will be placed on development standards providing a mix of uses and hiding parking to the greatest extent possible. Policy 2 states that mixed-use area step-down, mixed-use redevelopment should step down in height and intensity near adjacent residential uses. Additionally, the plan includes early adoption of the Columbus Citywide Planning Policies design guidelines. The site is located within the boundaries of the Far East Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. The development text commits to a site plan and includes development standards addressing setbacks, site access, landscaping, building design, lighting, and graphic provisions. For the retail development, Sub-Area A, variances to aisle, lighting, and parking lot landscaping are requested. For the automatic car wash, Sub-Area B, a variance to the drive-up stacking area is requested. The requested CPD, Commercial Plan Development District, will allow a commercial development that is compatible with the density and development standards of adjacent commercial development. While a use may be appropriate, the site plan and design do not conform to the Community and Commercial Overlay design guidelines in accordance with the Far East Land Use Plan's area-specific policy. Therefore, City Department's recommendation is for disapproval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any traffic issues that aren't lurking at this point?
No issues.
So the traffic that's discussed here is strictly on the parcel itself.
Correct. There's no additional access being added. All the circulation is internal.
All right, okay. And Kathy, you have any landscaping and recreation and parks issues? Would that be a thumbs up or down? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, is there anyone here to speak? Pardon me?
No comment. No comment.
No comment.
No comment. Very succinct. Okay. Are there any speakers regarding this case tonight?
Chair Fitzpatrick, Dave Perry, here as agent for the applicant, Moo Car Wash, and Jeff Gilger, development manager for Moo Car Wash, is also on the call.
Are there any other neighbors or interested parties? I don't hear anybody, so I'm going to start. Given you have a pretty wide open slate here, it seems like you're in conflict with the planning group regarding the use of this parcel. Any reason that you can't go with the CCO design guidelines, David?
Yes. Thank you. There's no disagreement on the use, the car wash use at the property. It was supported unanimously by the area commission, including the site plan, and the planning staff acknowledged also that there's no objection to the land use of the automatic car wash. This is a design issue only, and we have an approximate 20-acre CPD site, last zoned in 1998, and as is representative of that time period, there were very large box stores built deep on the parcel with a large parking field in front. There we go. Thank you. The rendering on your screen shows the location of the proposed Moo Car Wash, and here's the design issue to us. We have there we go. Moo does a great job on the appearance of the building and the site landscaping and so on. The request of the planning staff is to turn the building parallel to East Main Street. So we have a 120-foot long building that is 28 feet tall, proposed to be parallel to East Main Street on a building that is not designed for the storefront glass and retail components that are typical of the CCO. So our position on this is that this is a better solution. The use is again completely supported by everybody. This is a better solution to have the entrance of the building towards Main Street, and in time, the Schottenstein companies, in time, I anticipate will develop other outlots at this property, and we are very concerned about the investment that Moo would make at the property with that appearance of what would be 120 foot tall or 120 foot long, very tall wall, essentially parallel to Main Street. So this is a design preference. The site is located on a huge east-west arterial, East Main Street. It's represented by site development from the 80s and 90s. There's a huge shopping center across the street, also with a large parking field. The site is a short distance from the I-270 interchange. And when we discussed this with the planning staff, we offered more landscaping, which is represented on the landscaping plan, and some decorative fencing around the front and more street trees. Those are all incorporated into the plan on your screen. But on that design issue, we are requesting your approval of it as prepared rather than a very long building parallel to Main Street.
I tend to agree with you. You can't fake storeroom windows along the length of a car wash with the equipment and tanks and pumps. It would be totally it has to be an opaque wall. So I think you've made the most of this personally. That's my personal thought. But I do respect the overall community commercial overlay intent, but it doesn't work for this particular development.
Chair Fitzpatrick, one other point. I know you as an architect are familiar with view corridors at large shopping centers, and I'm sure all the commissioners are.
Right.
And view corridors are essential to large shopping center development and sight lines to the anchors. And Mumu and I are just very concerned at the notion of a 28-foot tall, essentially a 28-foot tall wall along Main Street.
Right. No, I understand, and your solution is a good one. Does anyone else have any comments or questions for David? Okay, we do not have a motion required on this case, so let's simply call the roll.
Ken Wukwe,
Yes.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
and Sheriff Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you are approved.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, let's go on to case number 11. Z20 7 West Jenkins Avenue.
Okay, I needed to mute somebody. There was a lot of feedback. Okay. The site consists of one parcel developed with an industrial facility zoned in the M Manufacturing District. Ordinance number 0275-2019 has been approved for a 60-unit apartment building at this site. Staff supported the council variance to assist in the state funding application process, subject to the filing of a rezoning application to an appropriate zoning district. The requested AR1 apartment residential district will permit multi-unit residential development consistent with the council variance approved by City Council. North of the site is an industrial building in the M Manufacturing District. South of the site is a 5-unit dwelling in the M Manufacturing District and a variety of single and 2-unit dwellings in the AR1 apartment residential district. East of the site is an eating and drinking establishment and two-unit dwellings in the C4 commercial district, and west of the site is railroad right-of-way in the M district. The site is within the boundaries of the South Side Plan, which recommends neighborhood mixed use at this location. Additionally, the plan includes early adoption of the Columbus citywide planning policies design guidelines, which recommend the use of high quality and durable building materials, as well as front facades that provide aesthetic appeal through appropriate use and placement of doors and windows. The site is located within the boundaries of the Columbus Southside Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. Concurrent CV 20-046 has been filed and includes variances to building height, landscaping and screening, and a parking reduction from 90 to 62 spaces for a 60-unit apartment building. Additionally, the site will be developed in accordance with an associated site plan. That request will be heard by City Council and will not be considered at this Development Commission meeting. The requested AR1 apartment residential district will permit a multi-unit residential development consisting of a 60-unit apartment building. The proposed AR1 district is consistent with the land use recommendations of the Southside Plan and similar recent residential infill development in urban neighborhoods. C2 design guidelines recommend the use of high quality and durable building materials, as well as front facades that provide aesthetic appeal through appropriate use and placement of doors and windows. As such, the Planning Division has requested building elevations for the concurrent council variance to review in accordance with the guidelines, but staff is in full support of requested rezoning district AR1. Therefore, our recommendation is for approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, question anybody for Shannon? Dan, any traffic issues?
No issues.
And Kathy?
We have no issues. We did talk to the applicant about trying to protect some of the natural resources that are there and recognize that some of it's a little bit scrubby and some of it may not really survive. But we also appreciate the addition of the trees as a buffer from the highway area so that it can filter the noise from the residents that are there.
Okay, any questions or comments from the commission? Are there any speakers regarding case number 11 tonight on Jenkins Avenue? Any call-ins? Okay, you have area commission approval, you have staff approval. Is the applicant here?
Yes, I'm here, Chair Fitzpatrick. It's Dave Terry as agent for WODA.
Anything you would like to add?
Just that this is a follow-up rezoning for the affordable housing project that was done by variance. So it's follow-up to WODA's commitments to rezone the property.
Okay, well, we have nothing to do except call the roll.
Marty Anderson,
Yes.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
Tian Wukwe,
Yes.
and Chair Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you are approved. And that brings us last case number 12, Z20-001, 33 West Morrill Avenue.
The site is developed with a vacant industrial building, but is otherwise primarily undeveloped and zoned in the M manufacturing and AR1 apartment residential district. Ordinance 0278-2020 has been approved for a 46-unit apartment building on this site. That request included variances to parking lot landscaping, screening, building lines, and height and area regulations. Staff council variance process to assist in the funding application process. As the rezoning and concurrent hills of variance applications were filed with staff prior to the ordinance going, applicant LD apartment residential district in order to construct a multi-unit residential development consistent with the plan that was approved by City Council. Variances to landscaping and screening, building lines, and rear yard are included in the concurrent council variance. To the north of the site are single and multi-unit dwellings in the AR1 apartment residential district. To the south is manufacturing development in the M manufacturing district. To the east are single-unit dwellings in a religious facility in the C4 commercial district. To the west are railroad tracks. The site is located within the boundaries of the Southside Plan, which recommends neighborhood mixed-use land uses at this location, which includes multi-unit residential housing that contributes to a walkable environment. Additionally, the plan includes early adoption of the Columbus Citywide Planning Policies Design Guidelines. The guidelines also state that priority should be placed on the revitalization of Columbus's older neighborhoods through infill development with access to transit. Building placement and design should contribute to the pedestrian-friendly streetscape and face public streets. Concurrent CV20-002 has been filed to vary landscaping and screening, building lines, and rear yard. That request will be heard by City Council and will not be considered at this Development Commission meeting. The site is located within the boundaries of the Columbus Southside Area Commission, whose recommendation is for approval. The requested ARLD apartment residential district will allow a multi-unit residential development that is consistent with the density and development standards of adjacent residential developments and compatible with surrounding commercial development. The proposal is also consistent with the land use recommendations of the Southside Plan and the Columbus Citywide Policies Design Guidelines. City Department's recommendations for approval, and I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, any questions or comments for Kelsey? Dan, any traffic concerns?
No issues.
And Kathy?
No concerns.
Is Kathy call-in user number 14?
I think
No issues.
I should be number 14,
Yes, there you are, Kathy.
and there are no comments.
No comment.
No comments from Kathy. Okay, is there any comment from anyone else on the commission? Okay, David, you have staff approval, area commission unanimous approval. Anything you would like to add to this presentation?
Thank you, Chair Fitzpatrick. Dave Perry as agent for Woda Cooper Companies. Joe McCabe, VP of Development for Woda Cooper, is also on the call. This, the same as the previous application, this is a follow-up rezoning request to follow through on Woda's commitment to rezone the property.
Okay, similar to the ones you've heard, has all the same merits. Please call the roll.
Amanda Golden,
Yes.
John Ingwerson,
Yes.
Ken Wukwe,
Yes.
Marty Anderson,
She may have had to take a,
Yeah, I think she had to leave early.
she had a deadline.
Okay.
So.
I just hadn't unmuted myself. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
voted yes. Sorry.
Okay.
and Chair Fitzpatrick.
You said if you had to leave, it would be subtle.
I know.
So,
I know. I've been
Okay,
handling
well,
it.
I'm glad you were able to stay with us. This case is approved, and I would need a motion to adjourn our fun and games with the high technology.
So moved.
Second, and all those in favor yell, yeah.
Yes. Aye.
Okay, see you next month.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Shannon.
Another impeccable meeting from Shannon.
Great, Shannon.
Thanks.
Hasta la vista.